Hey guys and gals, it's Havox here, coming to you the video that I think will help out a lot of new players, a lot of old players. It's a question I'm asked a lot in my stream on where to ward, how to ward, and why you're warding. So without further ado, I say we go ahead and get down to it. All right, y'all. So you might say, Havox, where do we start warding? I say we start right down here in the bottom lane because there's a dedicated role to warding in the bottom lane. It is the support. It's going to be the main warding person on your team once you get out of the laning phase. The most important thing is that laning phase because we're going to be using these wards to not get ganked by junglers and other laners too. So first and foremost, whether you're blue team, whether you're red team, the main place to get that ward down is going to be in tri-bush and bottom lane. You want to have a pink ward down there if you're blue team. You're going to have to defend it here and there if you can. If not, let it go. Go back later on, grab a pink ward, put it right back in that tri-bush. The tri-bush is going to keep the mid lane from coming down on you and also keep a jungler from coming onto that backside out of your own jungle if you're on blue side and getting in there. If you are on the red team, you want to get rid of the pink ward for the blue team in that tri-bush, and you want to have just a normal yellow ward in there to see any junglers coming out from that side. Also mid laners coming down there too. There's going to be a few other spots in the bottom lane. They're going to be very important. If you are on red team or if you're on blue team, the bush right next to the tower of the red team, you want to try to keep a ward down there. If you're red, that's most likely where your pink ward's going to be going. If you're blue, you can have the ADC's pink ward over there while you have your support pink ward in the tri-bush or vice versa. Or just clear the pink ward out, get a yellow ward in that bush. Now, you got the tri-bush and you got that river warded up a little bit. But let's say you're on the red team, you're pushing up to the tower onto the blue team, right? You got to have that tri-bush warded because if you only have that river bush warded, boom, by the time you see the jungler, they're already behind you, you're done. So you want to have that tri-bush warded. And then normally you want to push instead of just having a ward in that bush. You want to go up right in front of the dragon pit and have a ward right there too. So you can see the mid laner coming down the river. Also, you can see if any jungler or anything like that is coming down the river too. And then finally, the tri-bush on the red side. If you're on red team, you want to have that warded or have a pink ward over there as well. So that way, if a mid laner's coming down, trying to come behind you and tower dive you, or jungler's trying to tower dive you, you'll have vision of that coming down too. Those are definitely going to be, for the laning phase, the main areas to have the wards down in the bottom lane. You want them to be deeper, like I said, in front of that dragon pit, in the river. So if you have a jungler who's invisible coming in, if you have a jungler who's really fast like Ramus or Hecarim coming on you, you can see it before they're already behind you basically and coming in to kill you. The next place, we'll just work our way right up here. Let's go right over here to mid lane. Mid lane, normally you see people warding the two bushes on the top and the bottom of mid lane. Those are fine wards. What you really want to do is get them a little deeper. The bush that sits right in the middle of river, you want to try to get a pink ward into that bush. You can also put a ward right in the bush that comes out of blue side behind the blue buff and have it right on the tip of it so you can see anybody coming down the river. Or on the red side of the map, you can put it right behind their red buff as well. So when they're doing their jungle, if they're doing the raptors, you can see them coming out of the jungle before they're basically already in your lane. On the bottom side of the map, no matter which team you're on, blue or red, you want to have it, try to put it right behind the red buff on blue side, and then right in the bush coming out right behind the blue buff as well right there. That way you can see the junglers coming in before basically, especially if you're pushing up in lane, they're already there in that bush and getting in behind you. And then we got that top lane finally for the laning phase here. In top lane, it's going to be a little bit like you're going to do in the bottom lane over there. Tri-bush on the red side. If you are on red team, you definitely want a pink ward in that tri-bush right there. If you're not on the red team, if you're on blue team, you want to get rid of that pink ward. You want to have just a normal yellow ward of your own so you can see the jungler coming with enough that you can get out of there. You also, that bush that's right leading up into the river, into the top lane, you want to have at least a yellow ward there. If you're on blue team, that's normally where your pink ward's going to go. But also, even if you're red or blue, when you're pushing up onto the other tower, what you want to do is move a ward down to the entrance to the jungle that leads into the blue buff on the blue side. So that way, if someone's coming up that river or if the jungler is coming out of their jungle, you can see them coming out, especially like Shaco. If you only have a ward in the bush on top lane, he's normally going to be invisible. Right when he goes there, he goes invisible. So that way the ward doesn't see him. But if you have that ward a little further down the river, boom, all of a sudden, before he goes invisible, you see him coming, and then you get out. Now, with all that said, though, you're going to want to pay attention to the minimap while you're laning. I know it's not easy, but if you're not paying attention to what's going on, even if you have the wards in the right place, they're not going to help you at all. So now let's say you get out of laning phase, right? Boom. You don't have to worry about the wards, in top or bottom or mid as much. What you want to do is you want to move wards with towers. So if your team are taking towers, you want to move your ward up. So that way, while you're pushing onto that tier 2 tower or the inhibitor tower, you have wards in their jungle. The main places are the bush, if right on the red buff, on the blue side, if you're pushing to that direction, and vice versa if you're on the red side too. The bushes that are behind red buffs as well to give you some better vision. And on the blue side, you want to put it right in the bush where the blue buff is so you can see that middle jungle. And that includes especially if you're split pushing on top or on bottom, you want to get that ward coverage right above you in the jungle so you can see them coming. And by the time anyone's even close to you, you're already out of there. They've wasted their time walking down there. So y'all, there's going to be other reasons, other things, different things that you're going to be doing to move wards around. But that's definitely the basics of how to ward and going to be very helpful to you to stop those pesky junglers. Sheikah, once again, Hecarim, Ramus, anybody who's coming in super fast, Evelyn, people who are coming in invisible on you. So that way, you're not standing on a tower, your ward's behind you. By the time you see them, it's already too late. So hopefully this helps you out. Good luck in your games, everybody. And thank you so much for checking out the video. I appreciate it. Every one of you have a great day. Hey, did you like that video? Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And come check me out on twitch.tv/HavoxGG.